Lanark by Alasdair, Chapter 12, The War Begins, page 125. A girl of 12 waited in the street outside, holding the handle of a pram with 3 wheels. She pointed at Thaw and said, "Where did you pick that up?" Bob said, "Never mind him," and loaded his sack onto the pram, which bulged with rubbish already. The 2 wee boys harnessed themselves to it with strings tied to the front axle. Then, with Bob and the girl pushing and Thaw running alongside, they went quickly down the street. They passed semi-detached villas with privet hedges, a small power station humming behind aspen trees, allotments with beds of lettuce like green roses, and glasshouses glittering in the late sunshine. They went through a gate in a rusty fence and climbed a blue cinder path through a jungle of nettles. The air was thick with vegetable stink. The wee boys groaned with the effort of pulling. A low thundering vibrated the ground under them, and at the top they reached the brink of a deep ravine. One end was shut by double doors of huge rotting timber. A glossy arch of water slipped over this, crashed to the bottom, then poured along the ravine and flowed through open doors at the end into a small loch fringed with reeds and paved with lily leaves. Thaw knew this must be the canal, a dangerous, forbidden place where children were drowned. He followed his companions uphill among structures where water spilled over ledges, trickled through cracks, or lay in rushy, half-stagnant ponds with swans paddling on clear spaces in the middle. They crossed a plank bridge under the shadow of so high a waterfall that the din of it was deafening. They crossed stony ground and then another bridge, and heard dimly a distant bugle blown in a caricature of a battle call. "Peely Wally," said Bob. They went quickly down a cinder path, through a gate and onto a street. Thaw found it a foreign kind of street. The tenements were faced with grey stone instead of red. Landing windows had broken glass in them, or no glass, or even no window frames, being oblong holes half bricked up to stop children falling out. The men who'd taken the spikes away to the wharf from Ridgery, where Thaw lived, had removed all the railings here, and the spaces between pavement and tenement, neat gardens in Ridgery, were spaces of flattened earth where children too young to walk scratched the ground with bent spoons or floated bits of wood in puddles left from last week's rain. In the middle of the street, a pale, lipless, smiling young man sat on a donkey cart with a bugle on his knees. His cart held boxes of coloured toys which could be bought with rags, bottles and jam jars, and already a crowd of children surrounded him, wearing cardboard sombreros, whooping on whistles or waving bright flags and windmills. When he noticed Bob in the pram, he shouted, make way, let the man through."